Hi, everybody. This is Madhav here from the Remote Marketing Podcast, and today I'm going to talk about marketing budgets. And um, the reason I picked this topic is just because I feel a lot of companies right now are reevaluating their budgets and everything, and it's also a question that that I faced and struggled with for quite a while. So when I led my first marketing team and was tasked to kind of create a marketing budget, I was like, where do I I was completely clueless. Where do I find a suitable template to start? How do I customize it for my requirements? What do I even need in a marketing budget, and like how will it help me? And the thing is that searching in Google wasn't helpful, as just copying someone else's marketing budget template didn't really make sense. Here's why. Um, so firstly, every company has a different marketing playbook, strategy, team structure, revenue budgets, and for those reasons, someone else's marketing budget template will not fit my own use case perfectly. And the second thing is the most templates out there look really complicated. Just do a simple Google search and you'll know. They've got like a gazillion rows and columns and fancy formulas and lots of data to input, right? And I personally wanted something easy to start with. And with all these templates, I didn't really know the baby steps. Like, where do I even start in this sheet? Like, where do I start inputting the data, and where does it start making sense? Um, and the third thing was that I wanted to understand marketing budgets from the foundation, from real world application, real requirement problem solving perspective, and like taking Richard Feynman's approach, like really understanding it from the foundation. That's one of the reasons why I'm talking about it today as well. Um, so, um, so first of all, when you think about a marketing budget, right? Be it you're a lead in a marketing team, maybe you're a CEO, or maybe you're in a leadership position. Why do you need a marketing budget, right? So the first thing is that eventually it's really all about the money. You know, views, backlinks, leads, customers, they're all fine, but eventually money talks. How much did we eventually bring in? Um, and so the first thing in a marketing budget is you need to know where you're spending what. How much are you spending on SEO? How much are you spending on email marketing? How much are you spending on product marketing? How much are you spending on branding? All of that stuff. And then the second thing is you need to understand really what's working and what's not, and like double down on what's working. So for example, channel A, maybe in ads you're spending 10x and getting 5x in revenue, and maybe in SEO you're spending 2x and getting 10x in revenue, right? So in those cases, shouldn't it be the other way around? Like you should be spending 2x and then get probably should be spending 10x on SEO and get like a 50x in revenue. So it sparks that thought process. It sparks those conversations and thoughts, and gives you just a better perspective on really how you're spending and how you're utilizing marketing, and just making sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck in marketing. So um, where once now that you know that you need a marketing budget, and these are the reasons, where do you start, right? So personally I decided to kind of lean on other people's experiences, but I wasn't really sure who would have the time to kind of help me build a customized marketing budget template. So fortunately for me, my dad has been a leadership executive. He's worked with Intel and lots of other companies on in a sales and marketing role. So and I decided to kind of start and lean in on his experience. It was the easiest way to go, and I'm really grateful to my dad about this. So we sat down for an hour and kind of decided to understand the current marketing spend and growth projections for the next 1 year. And with him, I kind of with his help, I created the first versions of my marketing budget, and then sat down and reworked on it myself. The whole template, and then I eventually gave it to my CEO, who made some edits himself, and then which eventually led to the final marketing budget template that I use today. Um, so Now I'm going to talk to you about the process, really just the first steps of kind of creating this marketing budget, right? Um, think of this as a version one, right? This will help you build a marketing budget from scratch, and really get down to the foundations. It's not going to help you build an extremely complex or a super advanced marketing budget template. It's going to give you a starting point. You'll build something, and then from there, you can build something more advanced, more customized to your requirements. Okay. So the first thing, when I started kind of building my marketing budget, the first thing that I did was I started defining what my monthly spend looks like in terms of expenses, right? And this is kind of like a brain dump. Everything, all of the expenses that I'm spending on tools, ads, consultants, course, whatever that is, just put it down there, right? Like for example, team member A salary, right? The email marketer's salary, the subscription cost of my email marketing tool, the cost of the consultant, the SEO consultant we brought on a couple of months ago, and how much we spend on like a conference or a course, all of that. And typically all of these expenses can be bucketed. The way I usually bucket them in 8 categories, right? Salaries, consultant fees, affiliate commissions, writers, ads, tools, learning stipend, and miscellaneous. And usually all of those kind of fit in. And it's really just literally like all of the costs that you have, just put them all in a sheet. The second step is start adding up the expenses, based on each marketing channel's, expenses. Like for example, the cost of the SEO lead salary, the consultant fees, of the SEO consultant's fees, the writer's fees, maybe another, a marketing specialist who spends 40% of their time on SEO, 40% of their salary, the cost of an SEO tool. All of that kind of comes under the expenses of SEO, right? So just like that, based on whatever channels that you have, your top 5-6 channels, put those down, break down these expenses that you create in the first step, and then put them in these expenses, for each channel. And the goal of this exercise is that, at the end of, once you've done all of this, you'll realize that, you'll have a much better understanding on your marketing spend across, each channel and the total spend. And this will give you a really high level understanding of how and where you're spending, right? So it'll tell you that, all right, I'm spending about 20% of my marketing budget on emails marketing, and about 50% of my marketing budget on ads, and another 30% on SEO, or whatever is in the way it's for you, right? And that'll give you a very good idea of where you've focus your priorities, where the money is going, and everything, right? Then the third step is you compare these expenses with the monthly and annual revenue that each channel kind of brings in, to get an idea of what percentage of marketing budget is for the total revenue, and what percentage of marketing budget gets what percentage of revenue, right? And the goal of this step is that you'll understand that let's say maybe like I told you in the example earlier, right, that maybe you're spending 10x on ads, right? That would be $20,000, $50,000, $500,000 in revenue on ads, and you're maybe getting $250,000 in revenue out of it. So it's not really profitable. And then maybe with SEO or email, maybe with email marketing, you're spending $100,000 and you're getting like $500,000 in revenue, right? And so then when you kind of get an idea of how much revenue you're getting for each channel versus how much you're spending, then you can then start kind of thinking about this, that I'm spending this much amount and I'm getting 5x the returns, versus another channel where spending this much amount, I'm getting half the returns, right? So where should I be investing more, and is there more for scale in a certain channel, right? So step 4 is really just analyzing all this information and asking yourself, These are the channels that bring in revenue. These are the channels where we bring in revenue much faster, with a very low spend or with a very low customer acquisition cost, right? And based on that, you can understand, you can ask yourselves, where will I need to invest in the coming year, to get us to our annual revenue target? Where would I need to spend, my marketing budget, and where do I need to increase spend, decrease spend in channels, right? Like maybe let's say you've got a goal of doubling your revenue by the end of next year, or like by the end of this year. You can think about the channels where you can get accelerated increase in customers, and with the lowest CAC, right? All of this analysis can be done once you have an idea of really how much you're spending, on each channel, and how much you're making from each of these channels, right? And then once you've kind of analyzed all of this, right, you can then define estimated marketing budget, based on the revenue target that's been defined by the leadership team, right? So if it's 2x the revenue, then you can divide the budget and change things, and then make changes from there into your strategy, and that's how really just the whole marketing budget works. So like I said, this is a very broad, high level overview of how a marketing budget would essentially look like when you're starting out, right? It's pretty simple, easy to use, great for new marketing leaders who are setting their first marketing budgets. And the thing is that you can always remember that you can build on top of this this framework, this sheet, based on how your marketing grows. So what I'll say is that think over it, create a sheet, whatever. If you need a second opinion on how your marketing budget should look like and everything, feel free to email me on madhav@remotemarketing.org. Or if you're someone who's already dealt with marketing budgets, and you've got something to add here, or you disagree with something, again, email me or tweet to me at the Mad Bhandari. And I'd really love to know, because the thing is that, again, this is always a learning, and it's always in progress. This is not a final, this is not like the final marketing budget that I have. I really want to improve on this. I know there are a lot of shortcomings in this as well. So either way, just email me. I hope you got value out of this episode. I hope you enjoyed this, and yeah, have a great day, and see you in the next episode. Bye.